Hi, so today we're going to talk about Little House in the Prairie.
Little House in the Big Woods.
Oh, yeah.
The very first one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And who wrote it? Do you guys remember? What's her name, Camille?
Mary.
Her sister is Mary.
I know. Laura.
That's right.
Laura. So,
Laura Ingalls Wilder. And Laura Ingalls was her name when she was a little girl, remember? And Wilder was her name when she grew up and got married.
yeah, so she was in this book and she wrote it.
Mm-hmm. What's it about?
It's about, like...
Do you remember some of the things that happened in it?
Yep. They went to their grandpas.
Yes, they did. They went to their grandpas.
And they made Laura's dad.
They made maple syrup!
This is funny about Laura's dad. So he was walking home and he didn't have his gun and he saw a bear, but it wasn't a real bear. It was like a bear. It was a tree bear. It looked like a bear, but it was a tree. Yeah. So he got a stick.
Let him finish his story, just a second.
And then, the bear didn't come closer, so he's like, huh? So then he went up to hit it, and it didn't move. So then he saw that it was a tree.
Yeah.
So he walked in the foam, but Laura's mom, she thought the bear that was actually a real bear was her cow.
Uh-huh.
So he petted him, and then she saw that it was a bear, so he slapped her, and then she's like, I slapped a bear.
What were you going to say, Camille?
The bear wasn't a real tree, and
The bear was a tree, wasn't it?
yeah, he didn't know that it would get the teeth.
Yeah. What are some other things they do in the book that you remember?
I know. So there was this big room.
Wait, let Camille talk. Do you remember something?
And there was like Laura's cousin comes over.
Laura's cousins came over.
And they were all moms or dads.
Mm-hmm.
And one was 8.
Yes.
And he was a boy. And she didn't really like him. No.
They played that stump game. And remember when they played Angels in the Snow?
Yeah.
They would stand on the stump and then they would drop and make their body print in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to do that in the winter. And guess what?
What?
So, I like to lay down and move.
Okay, no one can see you when you get down there though. Okay, go ahead.
So they went to this ball at their grandpa's.
Yes, they had a dance at their grandpa's house.
And there was like this huge, they had a super big house.
Uh-huh.
There was grandpa's
Well, it was
room.
bigger than their house, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we saw a bear right now, and then it was holding this pig.
Yeah, that was the time when he saw a real bear holding a pig.
Yeah, and he shot the bear, and he took the pig, and he put it in his barn.
Yeah. So, did you guys like reading this book?
Yes.
Why?
I love it.
Why did you love it?
It's fun and funny.
What's fun about it?
And maple syrup.
You like hearing about all the cool things that they did that we don't do anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then they had to either go to the city and get food.
Yeah, that's when they went to town. You remember that, Camille?
Yep. They had to go to town to get some food, or in the winter time, they would have to make maple syrup out. They had maple syrup and they put it in the snow.
What was so special about going to town?
and they had to buy some food.
Had Laura ever been to town?
No, Mary and Laura and baby Carrie never went to town.
That was pretty cool. They got to go.
Yeah, that's them in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
Do you remember what, look at the front cover. You remember what happened to Laura on Christmas?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so she had a corn doll, and then for
What's a corn doll?
It's just corn with like a face and...
So you just ate all the corn off and it's just the corn cob.
Mm-hmm.
And you put a little napkin around it and it's your dolly.
Yeah, but for Christmas, her dad went to town and bought her a real doll.
Yeah.
Just like Mary had one.
Yeah. These guys were so hilarious when I would read this to them at night. They couldn't wait to read it. And every page they wanted to stop and talk about something. And they were just fascinated by thing after thing, you know, when the panther's chasing Grandpa through town.
Oh, yeah.
And when the boy gets stung by a million yellow jackets and has to be wrapped up because he disobeys his dad. One of my favorite themes in this particular Little House book is obedience is really highlighted. When they're obedient, they're rewarded, and when they're disobedient, they have consequences, just like her cousin when he disobeys and disobeys and disobeys, and that's why the yellow jackets get him, huh?
Oh, yeah, I remember something.
What?
So, Laura's dad told Mary and Laura a story.
Uh-huh.
His dad, Laura's grandpa, when he was a kid, it was Sunday, and the dad said not to ride the sled down the hill, and so when he was sleeping, their grandpa and two other boys went to the sleigh and
Nope, just a minute.
And they went down the hill lots of times.
That's right.
Then they went in the house and their grandpa woke up.
That's right. So one last thing, Camille. Can you remember what their daddy would do at nighttime after he cleaned his gun out?
Yep.
What would he do? What would he do?
He would go and hunt for food.
Yes, he would go and hunt for food, and that's how they had food to eat. And what would happen at nighttime after he cleaned his gun? He would play something.
Yeah. But he hanged his gun up.
What would he play?
No, I'm telling you something about...
Okay, just a minute. Okay, go ahead, Camille.
He hunted for deer, so he shot all the deer and made food.
Yes, he did.
And after he cleaned his gun, he would put it away, he would hang it up.
Uh-huh.
And then at nighttime he would play a flute.
Fiddle.
And
remember that, Camille?
And then he played something on the fiddle at their grandpa's house.
And he would sing songs.
Yeah.
He would sing songs to them at night. It was so fun.
And what I wish it was back then.
You do?
Yeah, so we could go outside and hunt. I could hunt with Dad maybe. He led me.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we could live in the middle of the woods.
Well, then you wouldn't have friends to play with.
Friends would live by us.
Well, Mary and Laura just played with each other all the time.
That would be fun.
One thing that I learned about this series of books, the Little House series, it's interesting because sometimes, you know, people ask me what to read to their kids. I always recommend Little House. I've had a great experience with all my kids. Sometimes, you know, if the kids are a little bit older, 10 and 12 years old, maybe they might find it a little bit boring, but my kids have not, and it's something that appeals to everyone because even though it's about a little girl, she tells a lot of stories about her dad and about her grandpa doing really manly, male kinds of things, and so the boys really, really enjoy those stories. But I guess that she went through a whole bunch of publishers who turned her down. And they were just thought, they didn't know what to do with it. It was just this collection of stories. They thought kids would think it was boring, and finally when she was accepted by a publisher, they've just been in print ever since and been phenomenally successful. She was kind of on the tail end of that generation. She's writing these about Civil War times, after Civil War times. I think she was living in the 1870s, and so when she was a little girl. And those times were fading away as the Industrial Revolution happened, and so she wanted to make, and so she captured that time period. What did it feel like to be a child then? What was it like for little children? And she really, you feel like you're living in her world. Don't you feel like you're really there? Like,
yeah.
like it's really real.
And so Laura, at her grandpa's house, Laura met another Laura, and they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So
You say one more thing, one more different thing than that.
And so there's an owl.
Looking for a picture to remind you?
I know it. And Laura and her cousin were timing on a tea.
Yes. So life is very simple. They get like 1 or 2 things for Christmas, and it really can help your children be grateful for everything that they have, and to recognize how simple life can be and how you can be happy with so little. They have a corn husk doll and stumps, and they're busy playing all day, and then they work a lot. Work is also another very important value. That they do a lot of work, and they work really hard.
Their mom sews their clothes, and
that's when she slapped the bear, huh?
Yeah. Look at this. So
this is something, this particular story in this book is something that I've used over and over and over again with my children to remind them how important it is to be obedient. So I would say, you know, we need to obey immediately because like Laura, it keeps us safe to obey. It helps them understand how it can make you be safe to obey.
And I lost friends for a week, and my dad said that I am earning friends back really. I'm earning friends back soon because my dad said we're going to the storage unit last night, and so he's like, Mom said get on your shoes. So I ran upstairs and got on my shoes.
That was awesome.
And my mom said go get on your shoes today, and I ran to my room.
And today you did your work without being asked.
Yeah, I did my dishes by myself without mommy, without my mom.
Is there one last thing you want to say?
Without my mom telling me to.
One last thing about the book?
And
I think we're done. Why don't you say the title again and remind them of the title and the author? So this book is called
it's called
Little
House in the Big Woods.
Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder, the first one in the Little House series.
Bye.
See you next time.
See ya.